Hello YouTube, happy Valentine's Day. This is Frugal and this is the Frooglesim news for today, Sunday, February the 14th, 2016. First up, Erebask's epic victory. Erebask continue to hold their status as one of the most prolific X-Plane 10 developers out there with the release of the Epic Victory. The Victory is an experimental jet from Epic Aircraft that can carry 4 people over 1,300 miles at 250 knots. The model features ultra-high resolution 4K textures, ambient occlusion and specular lighting effects, fully functional virtual cockpit, and more. Perhaps most importantly, though, is that this is the first X-Plane aircraft to model the 3EFES sky view. The developers have tried to accurately simulate this, building in custom map and FMS functionality, along with flight plan management. The aircraft also includes the EIS MVP 50, the Garmin GNC 255, the S-Tech 5000 autopilot, and the ADL 110B weather radar. Now, sticking with the experimental theme, if you buy this from the X-Plane.org store, you also get the Lisa Akoya for free. Erebask's Lisa Akoya is a 2-seat amphibious aircraft with a very unique design. It has a 1,000-mile range and a top speed of 135 knots and is able to operate from land, water, or snow. Erebask's Epic Victory is available from the X-Plane.org store for $29.95, which also gets you the Lisa Akoya for free, or you can get the Lisa Akoya also from the X-Plane.org store for $19.95 on its own. The videos you've been watching of both the Epic Victory and the Lisa Akoya are from Thomas Rasmussen. Links to his videos and his channel are in the show notes below. Thank you, Thomas, for the permission. Next up, Simwork Studios F4B Phantom 2. Simwork Studios announced that their long-awaited F4B Phantom 2 will be available in beta within the next week. For those unfamiliar with the aircraft, the Phantom 2 is a tandem 2-seat carrier-capable supersonic fighter bomber that entered service in the early 60s. Simworks claim that they have an incredibly accurate flight dynamics model produced as a result of studying technical data from NASA and many other important sources. The model simulates the aircraft in all phases of flight, including supersonic, and the developers even went as far as simulating the Stability Augmentation System, or SAS, in the aircraft. In fact, they are actually quite proud of making an aircraft that is as unforgiving to fly in the sim as it was in the real world. TACPAC support will be included out of the box, with full support for the full air-to-air and air-to-ground weapons that the aircraft has in the real world, and it will also be carrier-capable, of course, in our sim. While I haven't seen the aircraft yet, all indications from Simworks' website are that they are aiming to build a study-level replica of the Phantom, and that should be very cool indeed. The price is €40, and you can order it now at the Simwork Studios website, link in the show notes below. Now, the biggest news of the week, Dovetail announced 2 new simulators. This is the biggest news of the week, and it is the piece I'm going to spend the rest of this show looking at. And it came from Dovetail, who formally announced not 1, but 2 new sims. There is a huge amount of conjecture out there about this announcement, so I'm going to try to cut through it by pulling apart their press release a little bit. Please bear in mind that the only information that has been released is information included in the press release and on the product announcement on Steam. Anything anyone else is telling you or hinting at is pure speculation at this point. First, the big shock. Dovetail Games' Flight School is due to release in just 2 months' time. The product is aimed squarely at newcomers to simulation and offers them a series of tutorials and training missions to teach you how to fly. The press release does say players will learn to fly an iconic training aircraft, but offers no indication yet as to what they are. It also says that the product will include a free flight mode for pilots that want to head off and explore the entire world. Bear in mind that Flight School is not the new Dovetail sim we've all been hoping and waiting for. A lot of people online have expressed concern that Dovetail are trying to dumb down flight simulation with this, but they really are not. It's a brand new product aimed very squarely at people new to flight and flight simulation. Paul Jackson, the CEO of Dovetail, said, "The core experience hasn't progressed since the launch of Microsoft's FSX in 2006. Our aim is to get back to that place, to restore the former glory of flight simulation as an enjoyable and engaging pastime. Consumers today expect a much slicker experience across all genres, and they want simulations that are realistic but also accessible. They also want to be led to a place where the focus can be on reaching great levels of accomplishment rather than struggling to get to grips with operational aspects. That's precisely what Flight School will deliver." End quote. So Flight School is a separate sim aimed at newcomers, but how does it relate to the big sim that we've all been waiting for? Well, that question was actually answered on Dovetail's announcement of the product on Steam. Dovetail Games Flight Simulator is a separate product, and it offers a much bigger and more feature-rich simulator. However, Flight School will allow us to get a preview of some of the new technologies that are in the full DFS experience. So if you want to get a glimpse into the graphics, the performance, and the fidelity of the upcoming Big Sim DFS, then Flight School will be the first place to do that. Both DFS and Flight School are, in Dovetail's words, based on an evolution of the Flight Simulator X engine. They have not said specifically what that means. However, they have implied what it's not. DFS is a 64-bit sim using DirectX 11, which I think we can safely assume means the new sim contains a brand new engine. It also means that the new sim will most likely be incompatible with any existing add-ons, and you'll need to rebuy them. That's my opinion, but it's also a good thing if that's true. Developers have been stuck trying to eke out every last drop of performance from the FSX engine for the last 10 years or so, and it will be fantastic to see what they can do with a brand new simulation engine focused on utilizing modern hardware to its very best. No release date has been given yet for DFS, but again, you can get a taste of it from the free flight mode in Flight School when that launches in April. Dovetail also reiterated their commitment to our community with DFS, saying, "We are in this for the long term, and we intend to support and expand upon DFS for years to come. We aren't just going to make a new simulator, we intend to build a new simulation platform, which grows with you, our players, over time." End quote. Development is still very much ongoing at DFS, but if you have questions, then Dovetail are hosting a Q&A session tomorrow, the 15th of February, at 10 p.m. London time. There's a link to that Q&A session in the show notes below. So what about what hasn't been answered yet? Dovetail have not said at this stage if third-party developers will be making aircraft available for either Flight School or DFS, and none of the developers I spoke to have been very forthcoming about that either. They have not spoken yet about compatibility with existing products for FSX. My personal opinion is that I firmly expect any existing add-ons you have will not be compatible. It's a pain, but in the long run I think that's a good thing. They have also not spoken yet about multi-monitor support, virtual reality device support, or network support, and they have also not yet spoken about price or release date of DFS in particular. Stay tuned. As soon as I know more about all these things, then I'll let you know. In the meantime, I am in direct contact with Dovetail, and you will be seeing the Flight School sim at least in action on this channel within the next 2 months, hopefully prior to release. Wow, so that's it for this week's news. Thank you so much for watching. It was a small news show. I didn't find that much out there, but thankfully did get some X-Plane news in there. You're welcome. As always, my name is Frugal, and I'll see you all very soon.